I am here with a very long-awaited guest. Say hello to George Valdes. You might know that last name if you've listened to previous episodes. It sounds a little bit familiar. But George, please introduce yourself to the lovely people.
George. I am, what would I say? She's technically my sister-in-law.
Like almost, yeah. Let's see. Practice.
We're almost there.
Oh, how many more years you got left?
You took a while for me, so just
That's a great and great pick because this guy is actually now married. Congratulations to my previous guest, Maya, who you guys have heard in a couple of episodes, right, about relationships and all that stuff. So I figured, why not get the guy perspective, the guy side of it all? So thank you for being here. Thank you for being vulnerable. Well, this guy's a hoot, so enjoy it. So we're going to talk about Heartset because George, what do you do for it?
I am a service advisor, was a technician for almost 5 years, and then I switched over to the dark side. So, sorry, technicians.
Dark side, and like you manage those people now.
Got it.
Do you enjoy it or?
Not as much as working on cars.
Okay, so are you a car guy? Like you've always been tinkering around with cars, or
Always doing something to at least get them running, up and running. Just one that I can decide not to even, work on because I spent too much money, kept crapping out on me. I said, yeah, that's it. I felt like it was bad luck. So, I had to get rid of it.
Car community, I feel so bad for you guys. But that like really seems to be the thing about fixing up the cars. It's kind of like you love them, you hate them, but then also you go into money, debt issues, and all that stuff.
Right.
But it's really your love of cars that keeps you doing it.
Yes.
Okay. So did you always grow up with like playing around with cars and being interested in all that?
Favorite cars is most likely just things in general. Just trying to fix them, make sure that I can use them. I was just very handy as a kid. My dad would just show me like little bits here and there, and I'll just be curious and start off destroying things, putting them back together. And my older brother, what the hell are you doing? So we always had that perspective of, hey, I mean, we didn't grow up having money, so when something would break down, we'd have to fix it. So I mean, it's still to this day we're still broke, but it's all right. We're still. It's a mentality thing. So we're broke, but we're getting there, all right?
You're broke, you're not broken. Like you're leveling up. You've got marriage, you've got house, you've got doggy, and you're still playing around with cars, and you get paid for it, kind of. On the dark side.
Now all I do is deal with customers and yell that. All I say is.
Oh, there you go. See, that's why I like this guy. Okay. Positive spin on everything. So, what would you say has been like the craziest car project that you've ever worked on? Whether the thing never worked or you're really proud of being able to work on a certain type of car or.
This part I really like to work on the Mercedes GT63. Those things are beasts. They're so comfortable. It doesn't feel like inside the cockpit and everything. Feels like you're freaking flying a car, but you're actually just driving. You can feel the road and everything. It grabs onto the road like really, really nice. But it's scary once you're in it because it's a $250,000 car. So you're like, if you break one little thing, you're in trouble. So One of my proudest moments was when I was learning how to rebuild an engine. I was doing it by myself and sister's ex-husband, and I was just learning. And I just thought that was the coolest thing to just have a broken down engine in the backyard, working on it every weekend, stressing out about it, which that was a money pit. Spent every single check that I got from Walgreens to restore it onto the car, and it still broke down. So, thing is, don't go cheap on cars. Never buy cheap parts. Buy the quality stuff.
Really? Interesting. That's a good lesson to learn, though. I think, yeah, I think most people think like you can just go to a junkyard or like get some parts off of eBay and, if you know how to put it in, it'll be fine. But
You can look. Let's put it this way: you can't expect for the same quality as a good well-built part. So, when a lot of people ask me, well, what would I decide to rather put like a cheap eBay part or get like the Mercedes brand? I'm like, why not just go with the Mercedes brand?
mhm.
I mean, yes, you can get, any other part. There's actually genuine parts that you can get that is the same quality as Mercedes. They just don't have the stamp of Mercedes on it. So try to do that at least. But let's just put it that way. Just get the quality parts because those engineers know what they did, what they built the vehicle. But if you're upgrading it to get faster or anything like that, do your research.
That is great advice, especially for people like myself who I've kind of been used to if the car is being weird, the signals aren't popping up, whatever, take it to the mechanic. And it's kind of like a magic curtain. I don't know what's going on behind the curtain. I just trust that they know what they're doing. So at the end of the day, I spend like having more money than I know how to do simple things myself. So that was a good point. Like I actually don't have that. Cars, especially, we're in them all day. We don't want to get the cheapest things in there and something even worse.
Yeah. So Liz, my biggest pet peeve working in the industry, and like now especially dealing with customers, is the fact that they tend to think that we did something so that we can, make more money off of it. Let's say for example, vehicle comes in just for a change, vehicle leaves, and they call it now, screaming at us, hey, you guys did something to my car, you guys turned on the check engine light. Like, that's not what we do. Cars are just like people. Okay, your bag was dirty, the other day it's fine. No, seriously, I mean, it's my biggest pet peeve when people do that. It's like, just gotta understand that your vehicle sensors, you can't even tell when they're going to go on. So, yeah, I just feel like that's my biggest pet peeve so far. See,
I think it really branches from, again, people not knowing their own car. So it's kind of like, I brought it to you to fix it or do this one thing. Now a bunch of other things are happening.
right.
And at your heart, you're not actually trying to mess them up to keep coming back. It's just like, well, you know your car.
It's like the first thing first is see you in the first place. So it's that. But, it's part of the game, so that's all you can do.
What keeps you going back?
To that, I know that I can do my job very well. I can get very well with technicians and, and people. But, there's just a little bit of people that don't understand. You just got to calm down. Like a lot of people say, wow, you really just explained everything to me, even though I'm yelling, and you calm me down. Well, that's what I do. You know,
It's something you said for like, you're in a panic yourself, but the other person is like, almost like, paramedics or EMTs. Like, it's a crazy situation, but they know what's going on. They know how to fix it. You guys are kind of in the same position. People are bringing in cars, not knowing what to do. And then you're just like, it's fine. I know everything. Like, to save the day. So,
right. Well, something like that, I would say, but it's, once you get those people that are very angry and everything like that, like, you're just, at first it was tough for me, honestly. Like I just didn't want to wake up and go to work, because I was just like, here we go again. But, after a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm just here to help people. And if they don't understand, I can't, you know, like a lot of the technicians say, hey, you can't fix stupid stuff. Or, when a lot of people do have a lot more money than sense, it's just, that's what happens.
Yeah, and again, it's their money. They're going to spend it the way they see fit. We can only do so much.
Right. So, I'm here to fix things. So.
Yeah. Mr. Fixer. Mr. Fixer. I love it. Awesome. All right. So, I have another car question. I'm really not the expert on cars here. This is why I'm kind of an expert on cars here. So, question: what's your favorite car ever? Top. Can't be beat.
If you would say looks and design, I would say the Ferrari F40, which my brother got me a little toy model. I'm like, I wish I had the money to buy one.
Oh,
They're like $2 million right now. So
oh,
when I wanted one, it was on a portable, so I wasn't gonna do that. So,
yeah, good.
but I was working on it. So I had
You got a Camaro? That's a nice car. I mean, it looks nice. I remember Camaro's looking. Yeah, to Google it. Like,
but in reality, I really like Ford. It's a simple car, two people car. So anybody else that drives off the road, it's the cheap man sports. So, I just feel like even by having one, for a month, and if I had to return it this fall, it's not eccentric. But I drove it, loved it. It was just the best feeling, just driving that car that that's just up the road. It just felt like an actual car that you have control over it. You're sitting.
that's a good point because, AI is taking over every field. I literally just watched a show on Netflix. Obama produced it. It was basically about working and like how people work at different levels, and basically the people who are working in AI want to make cars that just drive themselves and all of them. Like on the one hand, you get it, safety and efficiency and make it better, but then on the other hand, it's like we also don't want robots to take over the world and not the world. So I guess how do you feel about the whole AI revolution, particularly for cars, and has it like affected any of the cars you have to service lately? Like, kind of have a Google autonomous car come in at all?
No, not yet. I mean, they don't start yet. It's like Chevy or just, I know there's a company, another company that they use Jaguars. That, that is bad choice. Let's go straight down. So,
Oh, so not bad.
So, I mean, honestly, it's we don't really experience that, but we'll just see the technology that like Mercedes has and things like that. There's a lot of software into these vehicles, so you can't. There are a lot of people that buy them that understand that hey, it's basically a computer on wheels. So now we have to learn, hey, this is how we're doing it. To try to sell coding, or just try to see if the software maybe relearn the software and prevent it from doing what's what their concern is. And a lot of the time it's just a lot of bad. I feel like a lot of the time it's the quality in parts. They're just trying to make as fast as they can, but they don't really see the quality in it. So people get pissed off. So it's basically AI taking over. I mean, it's cool, everything that that there's a faster way to do things now, other than just hoping for somebody to give you an answer. But at the same time, we make so there's going to be a mistake somewhere. And that's what people don't understand. That it's like revolutionized, but they understand that it hasn't been mastered yet. So if it takes over, it's not really going to help anybody out. Yeah, like there's a lot to it, especially with the self-driving cars in San Francisco. Even though trying to invest, there's been so many accidents before they even got to this point that it's just a lot of work, a lot of headache for sure. Just understanding something to understand how it moves and everything. Meanwhile, you and I both understand, yeah, which is the scary part because let's say programming doesn't, you can't solve the issue of that programming and it, it's just haywire.
Yeah.
It's the scary part. But I mean, wherever it takes us, I wish it didn't, because I wish more people were more excited to drive now. But a lot of people aren't because of all the traffic. But I understand, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary but cool at the same time to see.
I totally get it. I think people don't realize that there are people behind the AI too. So, you're basically putting your trust in a mechanic to whoever the engineer, whatever is behind that. And so again, like you said, humans are faulty, right?
Right.
And we haven't perfected anything. And I think possibly people aren't, it's not like they don't like driving, it's just they don't like driving in certain situations, like you said, traffic. Like I was in LA recently, I hated it every moment because of the traffic. If I had a car that was driving itself and everyone else did, then obviously traffic should have flowed and everything, and you could do other things. Versus like if you have your grandpa, like I said, or you're going somewhere cool where it's just like miles of road in front of you. Obviously, you kind of want to experience that yourself and drive it and feel like you control the car, rather than control you.
See, that brings me up to the point. Is it that Germany has autopilot where you can drive a station speed and everything? But so you well, they have in order to get a license there, it costs way more money than just here. It's just to try to get a license. Call it a day. It's like thousands of dollars to learn. Professionals that know how to drive their vehicles. Basically, you have to well maintain your car and make sure that you have the proper permits and everything. So it's close to thousands of dollars to learn how to drive. But if you think about it, I feel like that is fair. Well, you know,
Right.
so I mean, if you think about it, cars can be weapons, but
In the head, wrong driver, they're not.
yeah,
It's one.
you've seen better.
Yes.
You know, you know, driving calm and you just laugh and over that really relationship to that. I know I can do it. So, it's people like that. Okay, but I just wish that the United States could have basically go in that route where they can do a little more research. And I'm not trying to get political, but I just feel like once the U.S. does something, they're like, ah, it's fine. And we just forget it. So, and just have all these, we have all these roads and all that stuff. So,
And you have people who are on the road who shouldn't be driving. I'm not trying to be against the workers, but at some point, I mean, I know some people whose car is just so roughed up that it's just why? I get it, the independence and all of that. You want to be able to get yourself around, not rely on anybody, but there are certain people
yeah.
who should not be on the road or who should just rely on other people.
People on the and then on the lower, there's that one car and there's a pretty open road. You have to, I'm not trying to be mean, just scoot over once and when we pass by, just go.
I think the rules of the road, just respect it. And I feel like even thinking back to driving school days, they didn't teach us half the stuff that actually happened on the road. That's, yeah, like you said, it's once there's a system or program in place, it kind of leaves it alone. And then unless something terrible happens, like everyone keeps just losing control of cars, then that's when things change. Just like San Francisco, I think, I don't remember, but there was an accident with an AI car, right? And they just took them all off the street. So I don't think we're gonna revamp the DMV anytime soon. God, California's DMV is terrible. You can go online or go through your car insurance or like AAA. Highly recommend that. Do not go to a DMV if you can go anywhere else. Um, yeah, it's kind of like we're almost proving points for why AI could be helpful, but also,
Proving points of why that could be terrible.
yeah, you know, like again, we think robots are going to take over the world. We're kind of starting to see it. And my rule of thumb always is it's best to learn as much as possible and not be afraid of what's new. Because I also don't want to be in a position where I'm old one day and I have no idea what's going on because I didn't take the time to learn, research, figure out who's actually in control of this crap. And then if I want to like take action, you know, figure out what to do with it. But yay, go protesting. Love it. So if y'all want to protest AI, totally, totally on board because it's trying to. I want to say they want to improve a lot of jobs, but it also just. I know that they're going to take away a lot of jobs, which is just kind of natural how technology works. Like we don't have, yeah, like we don't have people, making. Oh gosh, as many like horse saddles back in the day when horses were the only mode of transportation. We have cars now. So kind of your job is to almost straddle that line of knowing how to code a computer type car, but also knowing like how to deal with the car itself. So talk to me about the car community. Like, when did you first really get into it? And I know you like to go to like drift shows and race shows and all things about cars. So like the fun side of it is, I think really the car community and how you guys all just I don't know. You guys geek out. I see it online. So talk to me about it.
So, I just feel like ever since I started getting into cars, I just tried my most, I guess, to, learn the most that I could during the time. And just try to first fix it. Because first fixing it, now you know, hey, when you fix something, you're going to go back and forth and use your head to see, make sure that's running right. So, as a kid, me getting graduating high school, I'm able to, explore a little bit more, especially, buying a camera like this. Or 15. Did you buy a camera extra high school? Yeah, like, I mean, basically, maybe like 5 months right after high school, once I got my first job, real job, uh, you know, uh, I bought a car, $100, which was basically nothing. Yeah, I only had the engine, nothing else. So I had to work my butt off just to, do the research and get everything going, but I, like my brother and I've always been interested in just cars, we're just always, oh, look at this car, see what's updated, there's, oh my goodness, there's turbos on it. Like, first of all, we would just like, if you would see our room, like when we were kids, I feel like we would have Hot Wheels at least somewhere, you know? And so, like, that was the main thing we would collect, just throw and everything, just play around with. Um, so, I started to put myself more into the car community once I was like more like 20. So I was able to drive a little bit more, explore different places, go with my brother to Formula Drift, see what's going on there, and just see the builds that people would have. We're like, whoa. A lot of the times we just talk shit to each other. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the car community, yeah, your shit isn't, anything, right? But it's just the fun of it. Just friendly competition, even though it seems mean. But that's the way that I got into it.
That's amazing.
Just trying to explore different spots and trying to get get to know people that know what they're doing and what they've made so far. That's the point that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and I know how to, do things that have my space that I can do, my creations, my Frankensteins, and whatnot.
So are you trying to make your own kind of car community?
Yeah.
Are you, creating any accounts that we should be aware of?
Yeah, so my brother and I just started up an account and he's taking over right now because I work too much compared to what he does. So,
And then it's on Instagram.
it's on Instagram. It's called 1 HP upgrades, which stands for 1 4-star upgrades. So what we're trying to get to is first, teach you how to fix the car. Basically, from there, try to upgrade the vehicle into having more. So going faster.
So do you add things to the car? What do you add to make the car
Well, I mean, it's
like
really depends. So, I mean, you can do in-force induction. You can do superchargers, which is a simple thing, bolt-ons. You can do turbochargers. It really depends. Because then you can also upgrade the engine instead of having a small bore. You can cut it out to get a bigger bore, and you can fit more air and gasoline into that piston. So, more gas, more air, bigger bore.
And that's when you get into like crazy people on the street. Just
So you hear a lot of pops, let's put it that way too. So
oh shoot.
yeah.
Oh. So people are like messing around with their turbos and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I mean, not every single. A lot of people don't have turbos; just have a loud exhaust. So you just take off, all the basically straws.
Straws.
Yeah. So it's not straws, but I just put it that way because when all the factory stuff, keep it where it's quiet, nice and quiet, and it flows efficiently enough where it doesn't make a lot of sound or anything like that. So
See, that's why I like a nice purr.
yeah, exactly. Me too. I mean, I'm not a car guy, but hey, I like my ears too.
Yeah. So you don't have those like super flashy. I mean, I don't want to notice me. But you just want it to run well and be like really good.
Yeah, it's like it's incognito. You're just it's there, it's there, but you don't know it's gonna go that quick.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want.
I love that because I've heard, well, the true rich people out there, you don't know that they're rich, right? There's this whole new money versus like actual old money, people who know how to spend, invest, and everything. Those are the people who are going under the radar. The Kardashians of the world and everything, who like exactly what they're wearing all the time. Most of it's brand partnership, of course. But my point is, get you a car or a mechanic who knows what they're doing, low key. Yes, it costs a lot of money to book them or whatever. Okay, one. Yeah, I'm working on it. But it's kind of like what you put in is what you get out. So, as with anything. So, and you sound like you know a lot about cars. So,
Decent amount. Say yeah.
okay.
Sure.
And I appreciate it because you still learn.
Yeah. Still trying to learn. That's the thing that working on cars because no problem is figuring out, it's like a puzzle. Works your brain.
Sometimes you get it.
So I feel like as brain works, they both work like we kind of like, let's say we see the engine, right? We kind of start seeing like, hey, here's the issue, and you kind of like just start figuring out. You just unbuild it in your head, and you kind of put it back together.
So, I'm kind of like a graphic. I don't think make all do that together. It's like I can visualize how you feel. That's so cool.
That's how we, especially with the technicians that I work with, I feel like that's how their brain works. They're like, all right, if this is working, this, that, and third, then that's what they're seeing as they go. Okay, this, they start pointing things out and they start putting it back together. Like, what's this?
It's like a puzzle.
You just have to, test it, make sure that your theory, right? Your theory.
What do you think?
So that's how it works. So you guys can see, they're going to college, but not too much. So that's good.
But really, just a taste of what you'll get in the future. With what was your family again?
Oh, 1 HP upgrades or 1 4-star.
Nice. Do you guys like possibly have a website coming or Facebook? What you think then?
So we have Instagram, TikTok.
You guys are gonna do TikTok?
Yeah.
Well,
These are really good, you know.
I relate because when I first did TikTok,
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I
Yeah.
was just like, Gen Alpha is on there, Gen Z, like they're just being silly. But then I started actually doing things and following the trends and stuff. I started learning how to do stuff thanks to TikTok.
Right. That's something, honestly. Like at first I was like, what the hell is this? Like, you know, I was trying to, do online code.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
I actually appreciate that when giving free information out, that everybody needs. And that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. Give free information and then go on from there. Because learning shit out or figuring things out by yourself, but when you have somebody else that's going through the same issues, like life,
Mm-hmm.
it's really nice. Yeah. It's like, hey, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you guys are gonna get a really big car community influx coming in. Like I'm starting to enjoy it, learning more about what's going on with my car. I'm not a car person, but I do appreciate not being afraid to be behind the wheel because I know what's going on with it. So I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to your concept.
So yeah, hopefully we get to that point. Right now, we're still spinning on ideas. I'm still like, working on what to do. So hopefully we get a video out soon, but we're trying to figure out what to work on first. But we need to get the plans first. So then we can just work on a page for a minute. So hopefully within the year.
And that'd be a nice like little New Year's gift for I start 2024.
Obviously, we'll see. We're going to get the plans first.
There you go. Watch the space, follow them, and see what happens in the car community, and you'll learn something. Oh, hopefully, somebody's going to do a dance on TikTok. I really want somebody. Like, you've seen those dances where they're at work and they just,
Oh my God.
I need you to do that. Just one for me, please.
I'll try.
Yes.
Just for you.
Thank you.